Hello everybody and welcome to Pear Blossom Design Studio. I'm Debbie Monticello and we are going to be talking about fabric paints, specifically fabric paints with maybe a couple of other little odds and ends that we'll throw in there too for some information. And to get started, what we had talked about before was maybe doing something with gelatos in a mister. And everybody knows who has seen my previous videos how much I love gelatos because they're so easy to take care of and store and use and clean up. They're just a joy to use. Plus they come in, a gazillion different colors. Now, speaking of different colors, before we proceed, with our mister portion of this, I am going to show you the palette sampler that I have done for the new colors of the gelatos. Now, I did get them in. I couldn't stand it anymore. I had to see it. I had to have them because I saw the colors and they were just too wonderful, not to have. So I went ahead and I ordered them. But this is what I wanted to show you. Now, these are what they call the new. They always come out in groups. So the new group is called the highlighters. And as you can see, you've got the orange, a yellow, a blue, and this pink. And they are very fluorescent colors, very bright, very vibrant colors. So those are the four that are the highlighters. Then the next group that they came out with is called the iridescents. And these, if I can get them close enough here, these are just beautiful. Now, the thing about these iridescents, and here they are, there's three. There's this group, and then there's this group down here. So those are all of the iridescent colors. And what I wanted to tell you about the iridescents is that these are a little bit different because these all have a very beautiful iridescent sheen to them. Now, I don't think I'm going to be able to capture that here, with the equipment I've got. But take my word for it. They do have a very pretty iridescent sheen to them. And there are, let me see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There's 12 of the iridescent, so that's a very nice big number of extras to have. And then there's only 4 of the highlighters. So, but those are the new colors. And you can kind of see this one down here. What's that one called? Lunar. These are all kind of, astronomical terms for the names of all of these different ones. I think they've got nebula, satellite, galaxy, those kinds of things. But they are beautiful colors. And I'll try to show those to you again. It's these, and these. Those are the iridescents. Very pretty. Thank you, Faber-Castell, for keep giving us, such neat things to work with. Great colors, great colors. I'm glad I got them. So, okay, so with that out of the way, let me tell you what I did. Now, I wanted to try one of the new iridescent colors, and so what I did, let me see if I can find the name of this. This one is Blue Moon. And here is, let me try over here. This may be a little bit easier to do over on this side. Here is the Blue Moon. You can see it's a blue. It really is a very pretty blue. And when you get these, you can see the iridescent colors actually in here. You can see it go from, kind of a different lighter blue, to a darker blue. It's just so pretty. All of them are like that. So what I did is I thought, okay, I'm just going to take off a little bit of a little piece of this. So I got a little craft knife, and I cut off probably about that much off of it. Now, it wasn't very much at all. And I put it in a mister like this. Okay. Now, this is Ranger. These are Ranger misters. I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's just called a mini, what is it called? A mini mister. Okay, mini mister. It's like in 3 different languages on there. So anyway, and as you can see, it's very small. But it does have, I noticed that when I, you know, and the top screws off so that you can just put your stuff in there. There's your little atomizer. Here's the container. You just put your little piece in there. Now, what I would recommend you do is cut your piece up into really small pieces, because then it'll be easier to dissolve in your mister. But you put that in there, fill it up. Now, when I did mine, I only filled it up with water halfway because I really didn't want to dilute the color that much. There wasn't that much in there, but I didn't want to dilute that little bit very much because I wanted to see the color. So I didn't fill it all the way up. If you add more of your gelato, you're going to get more color on it. So it just depends on what the effect. And the more you use these and the more you use a mister, the better acquainted you'll get with what the ratio should be. Well, if I put this much gelato in there with this much water, then I'm going to have this color. It'll be this shade of the color that you want. So you got to play with it once again. But that's the fun of it, So what I did is, on one of my many pieces of extra fabric that I keep, I put that Blue Moon in the mister, and I'm going to get this as close as I can because I want you to see what a beautiful blue that is. Now, it's a little bit darker in person than it is here on the screen, but I want you to see if you can see that glitter. Look at that glitter. Is that not gorgeous? I didn't do anything extra to it. That is strictly the gelato in the water and the mister. And all I did was held it up like this and then sprayed it. Now, what I did find is when you use these sprays, if you have them down on a flat surface and you spray over them, you're going to have little globs. They're not. It's not going to be just this wonderful little spray. You're going to have the gloppier things, and those are in the larger bottles, spray bottles too. The little mister I loved, because I could have gone over this several times, to try, but because I didn't have very much water in it, I couldn't do it over and over and make it darker and darker. They do not hold very much, but boy, they really do have a great coverage on it when you do it. And these iridescent colors from the new gelatos, if you can see that sparkle, that is just gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Now, can you imagine if you're going to be doing a piece and you want this background to be your sky? How beautiful is that going to be? You just put your color on there and then add whatever needlework you want to, or your beads, whatever other media you want to throw in there. It's going to look gorgeous with this. Now, see, that's the gelatos. And, who knows what else Faber-Castell will come out with as far as they're concerned in the future. So they're really worth having a few to play with, and if you can get your hands on a couple of the new iridescents, in some color that you like, do it. They're wonderful. I had a blast with them. Now, the next thing I wanted to talk to you about is one of the other paints that I have is Mr. Huey's, and I got these because I saw where a lady had used them on sort of these little ready-made crochet pieces. They're like doilies, and they were very pretty. They were like heart-shaped, and so that was the first time I had ever seen them used. This is a long time ago, and so I thought, well, that would be, those would be nice to have because it seemed like they do have a very nice coverage to them, and the colors were very pretty. So I went ahead and I got the Mr. Huey's. This is what the Mr. Huey's looks like. They're not very big. They're not in a huge spray bottle or anything, but they do have, they have enough in there, for you to do what you need to do. Of course, you have to shake these up, but these are 1 ounce, 1 fluid ounce. Okay, that's the peppermint. Ooh, and I just shook a bunch of it out. That's okay because, it doesn't make any difference. I don't care how pretty they look as long as they work. So there is the peppermint. Now, I'm going to show you something that I did with just the peppermint, but before I do that, I'm going to show you a sample of the Mr. Huey colors that I have. Now, these big splotchy things, these are the Mr. Huey colors. And I want to tell you something. When I use the Mr. Hueys, I had it on a flat surface. So you can kind of see what it does here, what the effect is. Now, you may want to have a bunch of these kinds of things all over your fabric. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, I think that's an interesting look to it. And there's nothing wrong with having that if that's what you want. If you want to have more of the coverage, you know, like we had with the gelatos on that piece of fabric, then you're going to have to hold it up and then you do your spray thing. Now, what I did is, and of course, the Mr. Huey colors are really pretty. What I did notice is they did have 3 of them that were sparkly, the silver, the gold, and what they called the shine. You can't even see the shine because it's kind of like a pearlescent kind of a color here, sparkly pearlescent, and it's not going to show up. But the gold, and then here's the silver, and those had a very nice sparkle to them. Let me see if I can get this up here so you can kind of see the sparkle. Well, maybe not. There we go. You can kind of see it a little bit. You know, if I, turn it a certain way, not so much, but you get the idea. So those 3 have a very nice effect to them. They're sparkly. The gold and the silver really do have a wonderful sparkle to them, and the shine is beautiful as well. And I'm going to show you what I did with the Mr. Hueys. This is the peppermint. This is the bottle that I had shown you earlier, the Mr. Hueys. And they say on here, they're called color mists. I don't know what's in them. I'm assuming, which I can't verify, that it's some kind of an acrylic paint in there, but I don't know for sure, so I'm not going to say any more about it. But they call them color mists. Now, this is what I did with the Mr. Hueys on a single piece, and I held it up like this, and I sprayed it real good. I'm going to bring this up close, and I know, let me see if I can put something behind that. Let me just put the sample behind it and maybe darken it up a little bit so that you don't have that background. That way, maybe, yes, you can. You can see the sparkle. Isn't that pretty? I'm going to show you what I did to get the sparkle effect. And you can also see where it's not a uniform coverage, which makes it interesting to me. If you wanted a uniform coverage, you want it all covered, you can go over it with your spray paint several times. But if you want something a little bit different where you've got, the light and the dark and the light kind of contrasting a little bit in the background, then certainly you can just mist it, and when you're satisfied, you're done. You don't have to worry about complete coverage or how dark it is. What I also did is, now the shine in the Mr. Hueys, and here's the shine bottle. Again, I don't know if you can see it. It seems so bright in here. But I do want you to see Mr. Hueys, okay? That's the shine. Now, I sprayed that over the peppermint, the Mr. Hueys peppermint, because I wanted to see, okay, if I combine colors, what are they going to look like? And I hope you can see the sparkle on this. That is sparkle. That isn't the white background coming through. That is sparkle that you see on here. And as you can see, this is where I got most of the shine on there, the sparkly color. So, it's just gorgeous. When you have this up against something after you frame it, that sparkle really comes through. And all I did was put the peppermint on with the shine on top. You can combine those in any kind of combination you want to, and they're going to be absolutely gorgeous. Now, something else that I did experiment with that I had in a spray paint is called Glitter Spray, and it's by Marvy. Let me see if I can find the purple here, because that's what I used. Right here. Here's the glitter spray, and it's the purple. It's got the little color right down there, and it's by Marvy, and it's got the little sprayer. You can see it's a bigger bottle, bigger sprayer. And this is the effect I got with that, which I really, really love this effect. Okay, so you can see you have that kind of a spatter look to it, which I just love. I just think that looks, artists with, regular paints, and you could do it on your fabric too. They load their brush, and then they just kind of flick it, and they get, this wonderful kind of splatter, on their canvas. But you can do that with your fabric too. And I did that with the deco spray. And again, I held it up and I just kind of went over it lightly. I didn't really want to do a big coverage thing on there. So, because I did want to show the splatter coming through, this different effect. And it came through beautifully. And of course, you can customize it, light, darker, whatever you want to do. It's your paint, it's your fabric. Have fun, go for it. Now, something else, too, that I wanted to draw your attention to is you can see, like I said before, is you can see these larger, blobs of paint, that come out of your larger sprayers, like, this one, like your deco or your glitter spray, and like your Mr. Huey's. These are larger bottles, much larger than what your Mr. is. And I think you're going to have a tendency to have that more because you do have the larger sprayer. Now, if you use the little Mr., which is this, then you are going to be able to have a very even coverage, much more so than you have with these other ones. And I want to tell you that the Ranger Mr. comes 3 to a pack. They look like this. And, since the gelatos are soap and water cleanup, it was so easy to clean up my Mr. after I got done, spraying it. So that is it was a lot of fun. It was easy. If you want to have that kind of a different effect on your fabric, then absolutely go for it. Because the more you play with these, the better you'll get at using them and knowing, the ins and outs and how you want to achieve different things. Something else I wanted to show you on this is down here. I'm going to kind of fold this in half because this is so long. But I wanted to show you this little palette sampler down here. Now, this is different. This isn't the gelatos or anything else. What this is the Pentel Arts Fabric Fun, and these are called pastel die sticks, and they come in that kind of a package, okay? You get 15 different little crayons, and that's exactly what they look like, are little crayons. Here's a green. Of course, it's not that color green in real life, but it is green, which you can see right here. And is that it? No, that's the blue-green. Well, that is the blue-green. Okay, so that was a correct color. I hit it off the bat. That never happens. So anyway, so here is that color, and here is the little crayon. You can see this is very small. So if you want a lot of coverage, you're not going to be, unless you just buy boxes of these and you use them all. But, for small little designs, like if you want to do little squares or circles or something, these would really work very well. They're very easy to use. I actually heat set these with just a piece of paper over it and then ironed over it. And so they're very easy to heat set too. And I think they came out very nice. It's a nice variety of colors. Just another little fun tool in your toolbox for a different kind of mixed media effect. Just one more thing that you can try out. Now, if you wanted to use a empty bottle, if you want to, mix your own colors up, maybe you want to blend, a few things. You want to put a little bit of shine in with, a Mr. Huey's color. You want to use a shine and use a color, Mr. Huey's, and put them together in a bottle. Then you can get these little larger spray bottles too. They're more akin to these. So I'm not sure, I haven't used this, so I'm not sure what kind of a mist you have, but I would assume because it's bigger, you're going to have something like the Mr. Huey's, that you've got. Well, if I turned it around, you'd see it better, like the Mr. Huey's here. So, not sure. These also come, in a multi-pack. You get 3 of them. This is called Kaiser Craft. They came in these. Again, I've had these for a while, so I can't guarantee that you can get them still. But if you can, there's 3 to a pack, which is, and once again, all these things, you know, you can use to clean up with soap and water. So you'll be able to, once you purchase these, you'll be able to use them ad infinitum. What's nice too is when you have more than one, you can, you know, blend. You have all your different colors. You can blend them, customize them, and, you know, have a wonderful palette that's just all your colors alone. And you don't have to worry about keep washing one out so you can use another. You can get your stuff done all in one sweep because you've got all the tools that you need. So that's another one that's fun. And don't forget, now with your gelatos, you have the double scoops. So you can always use these and put more in your misters, in your spray bottles, because there's more to these. So you don't have to worry about, you know, and I don't want to use up all of mine. You know, if you've got the color and the double scoops, you can use those and you can cut off a bunch of them and still have mucho left, you know, to put on your project. Now, the next thing that we're going to talk about, I'm trying to cram all this into this one little episode here, so you don't have to keep, you know, revisiting the same thing. I bought these a long time ago, and I saw them, and I must have seen them used on fabric somewhere, because that's really all I ever use is just fabric paint. I'm not into, you know, doing the watercolors or stuff on canvas. You know, my preferred surface is fabric, so that's what I use. Now, these are called Twinkling H2Os. Now, these are watercolor paints, but you can use them on fabric. There's a lady by Judy Gula, and she has a shop online, Artistic Artifacts, and she has all kinds of super cool mixed media products, and she uses fabric. So if you go to Artistic Artifacts online, Judy Gula, she is the artist, and she does wonderful things with different paints and things. So now, this is what I did is I made a very small little palette sampler for the Twinkling H2Os, and these were a blast. Now, let me just, before I even show you this, let me just show you. They come in these little pots. This one's got the lid off, okay? But they come in these little pots like this. They're not real big. So you get a package of them. You don't buy them individually. You get them in these kinds of packages, okay? I don't think that they were cheap, so I didn't have like I think I got like just three packages of them. And what I did is I used these two. See, here's a pink. I showed you the green. Here's the pink. So I used these two colors, a green and a pink, and they're just lovely. I mean, it's almost like a spring apple green kind of a color that I put on here. And this is what I did. I added water to it, and then I painted on my green and my pink. Okay? So these, and I hope I can get so you can see the sparkle on these. There we go. You can see it now. But the green is very little water. I tried to get the color on there as well as this pink straight out of the little pot. And it turned out very lovely. You can see what beautiful colors those are. They really are gorgeous. Then what I wanted to do is I thought, okay, well, let's see if we can dilute those. You know, what do they look like when they're softer looking? And that was this green and this pink. Now, when you dilute them down, and you can see it still, you know, has that wonderful little sparkle, both of them. There they go. You can kind of see that a little bit better now. The lighter ones, they do have some sparkle. The pink especially, but it's not so much because you've diluted the color down and therefore you diluted the sparkle down too. So you don't have that that vibrant sparkle that you do on here, but you can see they're beautiful soft colors. So if you just add a little bit more water to it, you can see that you have that very nice watercolor effect on these too. Now, what I then thought is, okay, what if I had my fabric watered down and then added the paint to it? So what I did is I kind of doused my fabric with a paintbrush and water and got it good and wet. And then I went ahead and I put just dabs of the sparkling, the twinkling H2Os onto this one right here. Now you see what a beautiful soft color that is. Let me get it here so you can see it better. There it is. Now, is that not gorgeous? Now, if you wanted to have your fabric just be a really soft pastel color, the twinkling H2Os really came across fabulously. Now, here's the thing with these. I was looking them up, so I could get some information and pass it on to you guys. And I came across somebody who said that they had been discontinued because the company that makes them is Luminart. And I don't know whether or not they still produce them because I could not verify that. I couldn't find the company. Maybe that's a good indicator that they're not around anymore, but I couldn't find them, so I can't tell you for sure whether or not these are still on the market. However, there are places, because I utilize them a lot, even if something isn't being produced anymore, they still have them in stock. So maybe, even if this company is no longer out there producing this, you might be able to find a website who has a good inventory of them still, and you can purchase them. I thought that they were just a blast to work with. And if I had an area, I don't know that I would want to cover like a huge swath, because these are not huge, okay? I don't know what it is with fabric paints. Sometimes with manufacturers, it's like they don't want to give you too much. But let me tell you, if for a small area or if you just had very small places on your fabric that you wanted this particular kind of beautiful color, then these are perfect. These really work well. They lay down very, very nicely, very easily. And again, the cleanup was simple. Just soap and water and my brush and was clean. No worries with that. So it cleans up. They clean up very nicely too. So with that, that really is all there is to tell you right now about what's been going on, with the gelatos and all these different spray paints. There are probably so many more out there now, or at least I'm really hoping they do. That is just like the glitter spray, and they've got, you can hear it, they've got the little, I guess the little metal balls in there, to kind of keep your paint from glopping up on you. That way it'll break up and spray paint. But now the same Marvy company makes this Deco fabric spray. And these are just solid colors. And I don't really know, like I said, I've had these for a long time, so I don't really know if they're still produced or not. Marvy Uchida is a wonderful company when it comes to fabric painting, and so I'm thinking that you probably can still get this or maybe a newer version of something like this they produced. But it's just the Deco fabric spray. And you know what? Even if you can't get the fabric sprays in a fabric spray container, like this or a Mr. Huey's or something, hey, if you've got your empty spray bottle or if you've got your empty mister bottle, then go ahead and put some acrylic paints in there and add some water and spray it on your fabric. I mean, you do not have to have, as long as it's made for fabric, which like you can do it with your gelatos, or you can do it with the Martha Stewarts, or you could probably do it with the Jacquards, and just water them down so that you can get them through the sprayer, and you will have your fabric paints. So even if you don't see the color that you want in a, let's just, I think there was only maybe 4 or 5 of these, with the glitter. So, not a big variety of them, but hey, go ahead and get yourself, try your, the Lumieres, which are absolutely beautiful colors, iridescents and metallics. Try them. Put them in there and see if they work. Experiment, experiment, experiment. And then you're going to see wonderful results with doing that. You're going to figure out what works, what doesn't work, but you're going to find something new. I guarantee it. Anytime you start playing with things, you will make new discoveries. And that's what makes all of this so much fun, is because you are playing with them, experimenting with them, and that spells creativity. And that is what we all need when we are doing our art. So with that, I'm going to conclude. I'm going to thank each and every one of you for watching my video, and I really do hope that you guys got some kind of good information from it. And as I always say, please leave any comments, questions. If you have constructive criticism, please leave that as well, because that's how I learn on this end what's working, what's not working, what you want, what you don't want to know about. And that makes my job a lot easier. So by all means, please feel free to leave comments. And in the meantime, I'm going to leave you with this and hope that I will see you again soon next time. So please look out for our next video. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.